Vinnie Colaiuta, Terry Bozzio, Matt Garstka. 3 drummers. What do they have in common? I think most obviously, we can all agree that they have firm grasp of advanced rhythmic theory on the drums. In this video, I'm going to demonstrate an exercise that is actually very simple, but once you grasp one central concept, is going to sound very complex. And if you like that, stay tuned. So subscribe, hit the bell, and come back every Tuesday. I've taught well over 1,000 drum lessons to hundreds and hundreds of drummers, and I can show you too. I'm Gabriel, and you're watching the YouTube channel of DrumTipTuesday.com. Alright, so usually this is the point in the video at which I say there's like 3 or 4 or 5 steps to this thing, and I kind of itemize them. Today's a little different. Alright, doing it a little different. I had trouble trying to come up with a way to describe this central concept, so I'm just gonna talk it out, alright? And I'm not gonna write music down today. There is a reason why we in Western culture pretty much are awful at playing polyrhythms, right? It's because we don't speak them fluently. Unless you're from like Africa, India, Greece, and like Bulgaria, unless you're from places like that, you know, most of your music is not in your popular music, the music that most people listen to, just stuff that's on the radio or whatever you find, wherever you find your music. It's always in 4/4, and we speak 4/4 fluently, which is why we're good at it. We don't need music. Even when I was in drumline, we would show each other advanced things just from one drummer to the next on a drum pad. You can get on the drums and you can just play everything in 4/4 without having a metronome on. Although it's good, it's advisable. You can just sit down and play. Oftentimes, we can't just sit down and play in 5 or 7 because we just don't do that. So today, what we're going to do, and what I've chosen, is a concept that I can just use. I can just speak and demonstrate it with my hands so that we're just, you and me are together here in my studio, just jamming like we're in the same drum line together, and we're going to jam in 5 today, all right? First things first, we're going to take a rudiment in 5, and let's adapt it from the 5-stroke roll. So I guess this is step 1. I guess there are steps to this thing. 5-stroke roll, but we're not going to play it like this. We're going to take that and even it out so that the notes are evenly spaced, right? One, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What this does is set us up for success later when we're trying to do sort of a polyrhythmic thing. But first, let's establish for this rudiment, if you will, of 5, this polyrhythmic 5, let's establish a home base, or what Gary Chafee calls in his book, Sticking Patterns, a native time signature, right? And this is the thing that I couldn't come up with. I learned this concept in Fred Albright's rhythmic analysis, and it's all throughout like Mitchell Peters' Hard Times and Odd Meter Rudimental and this sort of thing. Dr. Olmsted taught it with a pedal bass out of I think it was a Garwood Whaley book. It's kind of hard, and I understand it, but it's kind of hard for me to put in words. Basically, the native or sort of root position of a polyrhythm is going to be the number over the division of time that is also most commonly dividing each note. All right? If you're in 5/4, we come up with a rudiment that has 5 notes, and we'll play 5 notes per beat, all right, or per pulse. We do it naturally with 16th notes in 4/4 time. We don't even think about it. It permeates our culture, our music, everything. Anything you play, like boom, bap, boom, bap, ba-boom, boom, ba-boom, boom. That, you know, bunch of 16th notes there, all that complicated, syncopated 16th notes. We don't even think of it as complicated. We just fluently speak that sort of thing. I could say that to you. You could say it back to me. I could say it. You could play it. Let's try to do that in 5 today. We'll start simple. We're going to start with a not so polyrhythmic 5 to 5. All right? In other words, 5 quarter notes or 5 pulses, each divided 5 ways. I'm just going to count it out, not even using the met yet, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 5. Pretty easy. Once you get over the trick of the doubles, but this video is assuming that you can play a 5-stroke roll, and so then you could just widen out a 5-stroke roll to make a polyrhythmic 5 like this. Okay, we're assuming that the chops aren't the issue and that you can do this thing. It's pretty easy. But what happens as soon as you want to do 4 to 5, right? If you want to take 4 evenly spaced accents and put that in one bar, entire bar of 5/4, you simply divide each beat by 4, but put your rudiment in 5 over it. All right? So you will be dividing each beat by 4, accenting every 5th note, which will give you 4 evenly spaced accents in one bar of 5/4 time. All right? Check it out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here's your 16th notes. 4, 5, 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 5. Then we will accent every 5th one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, do you hear the 4 in there? 1, 2, it's kind of obvious. 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. You think about 16th notes, you get your 5 back. 1 and a 2 and a 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1. Kind of biffed it there a little bit. Let me redeem myself. It's easier to play it fast. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1. All right. It's easier to play it fast because the muscle memory takes over. Oftentimes when you have to slow something down to demonstrate it, it's kind of hard because you haven't played it slow in a million years. Anyways, lesson learned for me too. That was 4 to 5. You can do everything just as easy, all right? You could do, for instance, 3 to 5, right? How do you do it? Divide each beat evenly 3 ways while using your 5-note polyrhythmic rudiment. Triplets, right? 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 5 and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 5. That's triplets. 2, 3, 4, 5. Your rudiment. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1. Right? Brilliant. Do it in 2. And that's probably the easiest one of the bunch. The 2 easiest ones are going to be, well for me anyway, are going to be the rudiment in its native position, where you're playing 5 on 5, right? The next one I think is 2 to 5. And you may say, well, why didn't I show that one first? But I think it's kind of cool to like go 5, 4, 3, 2. Just sounds neat. Anyways, in the method. 8th notes. You can divide each beat in half. In other words, 2, right? You're going to get a bar of 5/4 divided in half. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1. Right. So you're not that impressed. Well, that's because it's very slow. So in fact, it was so slow I could like hardly do that first one. But I'm going to set it now to a metronome and perform a sort of metered accelerando. Okay? And you say, well, what are you talking about? You're going to keep it in 5/4, keep the pulse the same. We're going to play 2/4, 3/4, 4/4, 5/4, and hopefully, if I don't mess it up, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right? Let's check that out. But before we go on, I'm curious. Everybody has a certain aptitude towards one thing or the other, and then everybody has their weakness. I'm not trying to get too nosy, but well, I'll share my weakness first. I think 5/4 was the hardest one for me, and I'm asking, what's the hardest ratio for you? We've got 2/5, 3/5, 4/5. No wrong answer. I'm just curious. Always curious about human nature and who's watching these things. Comment below. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. Once you get that together, start playing them like you're changing more often. You change more often. That time I did like 4 bars. Let's do just 2 bars of each. I think that should still work. All right, let's try it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And if you want to develop superior hands, look in the description of this video below or beside wherever it is to get a link to Hands, my free ebook that contains my best 3 exercises for developing clean, fast drumming. So thank you for watching. If you're ready for more, click on one of these videos next.